Hello and welcome to the Practice Tee inside the MGL Sim Studio. Bill Hobson here along with Austin Deiters, who is the head golf professional at the Midland Golf HQ in Midland, Michigan. But even if you're not in Michigan, what you're about to learn can help your game immensely. Now, in part one of our three-part series, we dealt with posture and kind of alignment things. And we want to give folks who are freezing and unable to go outside and play because there's snow everywhere, some things they can work on inside or maybe at a simulator near them. Where are we headed today?
So pairs well with our first video on the posture, right? We're going to now get into the backswing and the positions that we want to be in there.
Okay. Well, I definitely need help with that. So let's start building from the ground up the basics. What do you want to see and what do you want everybody to learn and practice?
So, you know, one of the things that the posture influences is how we take that club back. And if we're set up like this, and as you'll see in the first part, we get stacked over top of the ball. It's not a good position, I would say, to get back to the golf ball without making manipulations. So what I want to see players do is get this left shoulder, once we're in our good posture, this left shoulder, I always say get it over to this right foot. You see players, they always want to go this way.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I'm kind of jammed up here, what do I do? Where if we're in to get this left shoulder over here, now we're in a position where we're loaded up, we've transferred our weight without even thinking about shifting weight. And that's the biggest misconception. They think, oh, shift my weight.
Yeah.
So they start shifting weight. And they start doing this, right? And now that's not a very athletic position to be in.
I was, and maybe still do slide into this occasionally, I was known for the sway.
Sure.
At least among my friends, they would be like, would you stop swaying? And they would put a stick in the ground behind me. They would do all sorts of things so that if I was moving this way, or they'd a chair drill and all this stuff. And the simplest explanation that has helped me a little bit is what you talked about, moving, just getting your shoulder back over this hip. I can't go all the way back because I'm old, but it's a start. And eliminating the sway has allowed me to have more consistency in my ball flight because I'm not faced with the challenge of trying to time everything up every single time.
Because we have to do, if we go, if we sway this way, we can't fire from here. We're going to have to sway back over. And now, when we do anything, like throw a ball, we're not going, backwards as we go, right?
Right, unless you're Mahomes.
Well, exactly, but very gifted.
Didn't work.
Yeah, Super Bowl. But yeah, exactly. So trying to get ourselves to understand that this right hip doesn't move this way. If anything, if you watch tour professionals, they will create space from where it starts, and their left hip will actually end up moving just ever so slightly closer to target on the backswing than where it started.
So in the sequencing of all of this, I understand the golf swing is complicated. There's all sorts of moving parts to it. I get that.
Many.
So we can easily get caught up in this paralysis by analysis and trying to think, okay, step one, I got to do this, step two, and then you end up not doing anything well because you're thinking through all of it. How can we take this concept and sort of convert it into a natural rhythm that we don't have to think about?
More of a feel, right? Rather than, let's say, a technique. And I do think left shoulder over right foot. I mean, that's an easy way to think about it as far as getting that over here. We're in a loaded position. That shifts our weight. It does all those things that we're told we need to do without you having to consciously do them. Because if we're thinking, okay, all right, turn hip, shift weight, get arms, we end up just being a mess.
Yeah. Okay, so help us figure this out from our homes where we're looking at a mirror, or maybe we get to go to a local sim. How can we build? I'll give you my backswing, and we can do like we did last time, and I'll serve as the guinea pig for everybody. So we worked on posture and alignment last time. I'm trying to get the arms properly aligned. I may be close to that. What do you want to see as we come back here? You want to see right off the bat, you want to see that left moving over this side, right?
Correct. Yep. I want to see that right there. So that left shoulder, we try to get that a little bit over to there. Good. And when that happens, you can feel if there's some weight on that back foot, right?
I can't not have it there.
And it's not a conscious thing. Just our mass has moved. And I think people get stuck into this notion, I got to keep my head directly over this ball. There's going to be a little bit of play there, right, as far as how that head moves and whatnot. And especially if we're not as mobile as others, it might be necessary for us to be able to turn.
The other thing that shift does, for me at least, is it keeps me a little flatter, and it's more likely to result in a draw of the ball than a cut, right? I've spent some time in this space just kind of working on trying to draw the ball because I'm usually a bit of a fade player, and I have found that if I concentrate on the rotation part, the natural byproduct is I'm coming back inside and then hitting back to the outside, and I'm seeing a draw come through this.
Correct, yep.
So I have that part right?
Oh, absolutely. I would say with people that hit the slices, it's not that they're unable to get their club coming from the inside. Their body's not in the right positions.
Yeah.
We need to create as much space for the arms to be able to come through there.
So the old adage, I can still hear my dad saying this to me. Got to keep your head down. You 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 lifted your head up. All these different variations.
Sure.
If I'm here to keep my head down, I can't help but be like this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now I got no chance.
Nothing.
I'm either going to top it, I'm going to chunk it, I'm going to thin the whole thing. And
various different things.
okay, so where is this plane supposed to be?
Yeah. As far as for the shoulders and whatnot.
Yep.
You know, and I tend to not get too involved into, let's say, getting that perfect plane position. But to me, that would be good. Right there, as long as this left hip hasn't caved inward.
Okay.
And that left knee doesn't do this buckle move. So, you know, some people, they'll turn, but then they'll turn it, then they go this way, right?
Okay.
And now we're here. And so I like these shoulders to be, again, they're not going to be completely level, but we want them to turn about 45 or so.
Okay, so for the viewer at home who maybe has a 7-iron in the bag, just sitting there, just begging for a chance to be touched and used in some way, how can we do this in the basement, in the bedroom, in front of a mirror, and make sure we're doing it right?
Simple rehearsals, right? I would say get your club, take your swing, and just try to get that left shoulder. And go ahead and exaggerate it. Get kind of weird with it as far as let yourself come off that ball, get over here, and get into that position. When we get over a ball, our natural instincts take over. We're not going to move that far off our ball.
Yeah.
But it's even if we did, it's a sure a lot better than it wanting to go this way and stacking up.
Anybody who has ever taken a lesson knows that even a moderate adjustment to your norm feels like you've never played the game before.
Yes.
So to me, one of the benefits of being able to work on these things, even away from a golf course, is you can get your body trained for a different feel before you ever try to hit a ball.
Yes, your non-traditional practice is incredibly helpful for improving the motions, and especially without a ball. Often when that ball gets there, we want to hit it, right?
Yeah, right.
We don't want to go outside of our norm, and it's very difficult to change patterns when you're constantly trying to see a result.
Okay, so in part 1 of our Lesson T series, we dealt with posture and alignment. Now we're trying to make sure that your takeaway, that your backswing, your positions are all in the right spots. So make sure you check out part 3 coming up soon as we bring you back into the MGL Sim, back to the practice tee, and more insights from Austin Deiters. And if you're anywhere in the Great Lakes Bay region and you want some help in person with this, you don't want to come to me. You want to go to the guy who's a PGA professional and his great team up there at the Midland Golf HQ. So if you're anywhere in the region, make sure you do that. And if you're not, find a PGA professional near you who can really help you dial in on the things that we're talking about here in the video. And we'll see you next time here on the Practice Tee.